And today we're going to be doing graphing rational functions using transformations. So let's get right to it. So when you look at your equation, you want to figure out what your three letters are, H and K. A is always the number in the numerator. H is always the opposite of the number with X underneath in the denominator. And K is always the number to the right of your fraction. So now you go through, you have to find your asymptotes. Horizontal asymptote is always y equals your K value. And your vertical asymptote is always x equals the H value. And so now what you want to do on your graph is plot these two asymptotes using a dashed line. So at y equals -3, you want to put a dashed line here. Then for your vertical asymptote at x equals -4, you want to put a dashed line right there. Okay? Now you have to plot two separate points, just so you know where the curves go on the hyperbola. So the first point is always 1 plus your h value and a plus k. And when you simplify those, you'll get the point -3, -1, which you plot. -3, -1 is right here. Then your second point is going to be -1 plus h and -a plus k. And simplifying that, you get the point -5, -5. So plot that point, -5, -5. So therefore you know your curves are in the bottom left quadrant and the top right quadrant. And then all you have to do is draw your curves, making sure they do not cross the asymptote, either one of them, vertical or horizontal. And you've graphed yourself your first function. Okay, so let's go to example 2. Alright, so we're going to graph this function. Again, find your a, h, and k. A is the value at the top of the fraction. H is the opposite of the number with x on the bottom. And k is the number to the right of the fraction. So now your horizontal asymptote is going to be y equals your k value, so y equals 1 in this instance. Your vertical asymptote is going to be x equals h, which is 2 in this instance. So now you graph these as dashed lines at y equals 1, which is this horizontal line right here, and x equals 2, which is this vertical dashed line right here. Okay, so again, asymptotes, you cannot cross those, so this splits our graph into 4 regions. All right, now the points to plot, we have 1 plus h, so 1 plus 2. And then our y coordinate is a plus k, which is -4 plus 1. Simplifying these, you get 3, -3. Go ahead and plot that point at 3, -3. And your second point is going to be -1 plus h, which is -1 plus 2. And opposite of a, so instead of -4, it's going to be +4 plus k. And when you simplify those, you're going to get 1, 5 as your point. You plot that, 1, 5. And so now you know that your two curves are going to be in the top left and the bottom right. And now you just draw your curves in without going over the asymptotes. And you've graphed your second graph. And if you follow those rules, you'll be able to graph any of these.